2/3 of Americans are at risk to experience blackout. You could be one of them, sitting in the dark and cold for hours, for days, maybe even weeks. Are you ready to protect your family? You could be with Patriot Power Solar Generator 2000X. Folks say this new solar generator from 4Patriots is worth its weight in gold. Why? Because this generator has double the capacity and is expandable so you can run the big appliances like your fridge even longer. Or other devices like an electric blanket, microwave, RV air conditioner, or even an electric wheelchair. You also get 12 outlets, including 4 AC outlets, so you can power more devices at once, and 2 USB-C outlets, which can charge your phone 20 times faster than a regular plug. Best of all, this new solar generator is fume-free, safe to use inside, and never needs gas, ever. Over 150,000 Americans trust Patriot Power generators. Go to 4patriots.com/VTTGW to get your solar generator now. You'll even get a solar panel included free.
Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for tuning into the Mental Health Warrior on a special Thursday. Well, I guess I used to be on Thursdays and I moved it to Wednesday. But I'm super excited tonight. I got Lynn. She had to work late last week, so she didn't make it on the show. But Lynn, are your allergies kicking up? Because I know here in Italy, my son's allergies have been kicking up lately.
Oh my God, during the cold season and then right when it's like about to be spring, that's when the allergies are the worst. And I remember living in the Midwest is what they call it, middle America in
Oklahoma, yeah.
Where you would go outside and you literally see all the pollen and all of that. Like It was so thick. It was so bad, but it's pretty bad out here too in Florida.
Yeah, I know. It's here in Italy. I guess spring's coming early, so they're mowing the yards out here. They're trimming the trees, so it's pretty weird. But we've been in the 60s and the 40s the whole time I've been here. So it's funny. I'm running around in shorts because it's colder in Virginia, and you see the Italians out mowing, and they have coveralls on and a hat, and they're like freezing, and I'm like, they're probably looking at me like, look at that weird guy. But hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Hey, be sure to get out there and look at 4Patriots. Use the code there to save 10%. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Hope you're doing a little bit better today than he was yesterday. But hey, those generators are important, and I need to look and see if they can ship one here to Italy because we lose power a lot here. And, we have sleep machines and other stuff, and some of those things and appliances, you just need to have power too. And so it's super important. Back in Virginia, I had the Tesla Powerwall, so I never lost power. But I need to look into that and see if they can get one order. Maybe I do that after the show today. But hey, also, my podcast is played on Reach Across America Radio on Friday at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. Super easy to find. You just download your favorite radio app. It's iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, or the Odyssey app. Search for Reach Across America Radio, and you can find all the great programming along with mine. And also up there on the screen, you see the QR code for Reach Across America. You can donate for Reach for next year to ensure that all the Patriots that has gone before us can have that wreath on their tombstone. But I'm super excited about tonight's show. I got a huge announcement for next week that's going to go on. We got a very special guest coming on, and somebody who I think is really going to change how we look at mental health and how we do with things. And I'll get into that a little bit later. But with that, Lynn, I know you had a posting about irreverent soldiers the other day, or warriors, sorry. And what's the update there?
Okay, well, before I talk about that,
okay,
I want to talk about, it's February, so it's Black History Month.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And so yesterday, I go to this group called Vets on Tap, and I think they have one in Virginia. They have one here in Florida. But Vets on Tap is a networking group for veterans. If you've ever served in the military, active duty, retired, reserved, and veterans are welcome, and Guard, of course. And what they do is they help people find employment, help recruit people, help nonprofits. It's just a way to network within the community with the rest of the veterans. And we went to an interesting place yesterday. And I say interesting because I've gone there several times and I did not know the history. So this history is also military history, and it's also Black history. There's a place called Voussoir Bar in Mayport. And this place was opened by a man named Ernest Davis, I want to say. I don't want to let me see. Yes, Ernest Davis. So he
Okay.
opened it back in the 60s. So back during segregation. Now there were sailors, right? So there's sailors coming from Mayport, and the black sailors had nowhere to go, nowhere to drink, nowhere to dance because all the beaches area was kind of off limits because of segregation. And so
Hmm.
he built that establishment for black sailors to come hang out. And
Oh,
I
nice.
thought that was really cool. It's like literally a piece of history. He was so Mr. Ernest was born in the 30s, and then he passed away in 2019, and his son is still running the bar to this day. And I like it because they have live bands, they have uh, open mic night where people from all over come and do their comedy bits.
Hmm.
But it's really interesting to know that the history is Black history and it's also military history.
Nice.
So that was really cool.
And what was the name of it again?
Voussoir. So voussoir, and they don't spell it the French way. They spell it
Oh,
Vooswar, which pretty much means it's the last stone that you put within like a bridge or any kind of structure. It's the last stone. It's the keystone, and it's
oh,
the strongest stone. So that's
wow.
what that meant. And apparently, like back then they didn't have social media, but they had word of mouth. So when sailors
Right.
and
Yeah.
the ships would pull in a port and stuff, they heard about that, and so they would come and visit. And so to this day there's still sailors, and a lot of military go there. It's right next to the base, all branches, and they have great bar food. So
Yeah, and that's one good thing about the military. We can always sniff out the good places, right? Where the Army, Navy, Marines, or I don't know about the Coast Guard, but we can always sniff out the good and fun places to go. And it's amazing how fast that word spreads.
right.
Of course, being guard like I was for most of my career, sometimes we're not bound by the same things active duty's bound by, right? And so the first thing I'm going to tell on myself, but that's okay. We would go to the base and we would look at the places that were off limits. And those were
Oh,
always the
yeah,
places we went to
all
first.
the time.
Always the
Those are
places we
the
went to
fun
first.
places. They're like, oh, these are off limits or blacklisted. I forgot what it's called, but like, of course, everyone would
Oh,
go
yeah.
there. We
Yeah,
just wouldn't say anything or get caught. Like,
that's right. So we'd
yeah,
be like, okay, you get a group of close friends that won't tell on each other, and you go there.
yeah.
And I was texting with a friend of mine. We went to Germany several times together, and he actually had family that lives in Germany. And I was catching up with him tonight, and it was just kind of fun to go down, that memory lane. And I told some of the funny stories about being, a little inebriated in Germany, but that's just what you're supposed to do. But it's all good. But hey, it's an interesting day today out there in the world of the internet and news and everything. And if you're ever curious, I am going to watch the Tucker Carlson and Vladimir Putin uh, telecast. It comes on at midnight tonight because I'll be very interested to see how that interview goes because there's a whole big stink about it. And every time there's a big stink about something, I kind of want to listen to it, kind of watch it, and just see what's up with that. So that might be kind of interesting. So I plan on tuning on to that after the podcast today and just kind of see how that goes on X. I think, I don't talk a whole lot about political stuff, and I'm not going to get into that too much. But I just find it interesting what Elon has done with X or Twitter now X since he's taken it over, and it's pretty amazing how sometimes I'll put stuff out there to just piss people off to see if I'll get shadow banned or get something put on my account, but it hasn't happened yet, and I said some things to piss people off, but I do it for fun.
I would say one thing. There's this one college student who tracks all the airplanes it's public information. And
Yeah,
so he used to track Elon's private jet wherever it went just to track the emissions that it would put out into the atmosphere. And
yeah,
then and so Elon banned his account. So that kind of like what happened to freedom of speech? Like that is public information. And this guy, he was in the news again because he's tracking all of Taylor Swift's like
yeah. I think
moves. Like,
sometimes that's for safety concerns
it,
because
it
even
does.
though it's public information, people can, I did open source as an intelligence person,
Yeah.
and some of that stuff can put people at risk, especially at that level.
And
Uh,
that's why he was back in the news because Taylor's team issued him a cease and desist order.
well, apparently
So,
Eli paid him $50,000 to stop, so
mhm,
maybe
mhm.
I should
Yeah,
start
but
doing
like
that.
he still had his account was still banned. So what happened to the
Yeah.
free speech then? If it doesn't have to do with Elon, then it's
Well,
okay.
but is that free speech or is that somebody just tracking somebody?
It's still
Mhm.
putting it out on the internet. I feel like it's
Yeah,
still free speech. So,
yeah. That could be up. That
but
could
that's just
be
one
up for
incident.
debate.
So,
Yeah. But no, that's a good point because
Mhm.
it's one person's definition of free speech over somebody else's,
Right.
and you could say, well, you're a public figure. We have a right to know. But then again, they have the right to safety. They have the right to privacy. Maybe Elon could say, we're going to ban this one account, but you can still open up a new account under something else. But if you start doing it again, we're going to ban you again. And who knows? Maybe he said that. Maybe he didn't. Who knows? We don't know
Maybe.
that. But that's a good point. But hey, if you've been watching my mental health minutes this week, I've been talking a lot about getting out of your comfort zone. And a lot of times when you're going through recovery or other things, it's very easy, and you know what I'm talking about, Lynn, to stay in that comfort zone because you understand it, you're familiar with it. But sometimes that's why you're having the problems that you're having, is that you're too afraid to step out left or right of that comfort zone. And in my mental health minutes this week, I've really concentrated on that. And Monday I went into Pilates. Pilates class was canceled, and so they had this strength conditioning class, which is a bunch of circuit training. And I stayed and did, and it was a good class. But I'm telling you what, I was so sore on Tuesday and Wednesday that I could hardly walk. But I still got up and exercised. I still did it, but it was good because I was working, muscles that I wasn't used to working, right? Doing
Mhm.
the class. And for me, it was important to do, and what I've been doing in Italy is doing things that make me uncomfortable, right? So I'm stepping out of my comfort zone because my mental health minute today I talked about pain, and there's good pain and bad pain. And Lynn, you're a veteran. You have pain every day. I'm in pain, whether I'm working out, whether I'm not working out. Something on my body hurts. Your body can only concentrate on one area of pain at a time, if I remember that correctly. So if you have two places hurting, your brain's only going to focus on one. It can't focus on two of the pain. And my point today is okay, so I'm going to go work out. I'm going to be sore, but I know that's a good pain. I'm not going to be thinking about my mental health pain. And so for me, that works. I'm not a scientist or therapist, but for me, if my hamstrings are so sore, but I still went for a 5K run today, a very slow 5K run, but I still went for a run, and they kind of loosened up some. And I think it's important that when you're going through recovery, PTSD or anything, that you understand that. But more importantly, it's okay to get out of your comfort zone sometimes, because the familiarity of this could be why you're having the issues continually that you're having. Hey, Jeremy, thanks for tuning in. What do you think about that, Lynn?
I think definitely like trying to get out your comfort zone and then like working through it will help your mental health. It makes you stronger, makes your mental stronger, makes your body stronger. So definitely same page and agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, it's not easy to do. I mean, I sit here and I talk about it, and if
yeah,
you're going through recovery and doing other things, it's hard. But I always talk about, you're looking down that road,
yeah.
right? And you know what that road looks like because you've been down it 1,000 times, and you know you're going to have the same outcome. But I'll be son of a gun if you still don't go down that same freaking road.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what I was doing. I was just going down the same freaking road. And it wasn't, instead I decided to veer a little left or veer a little
Mhm.
right. I think I did that backwards. Veer a little right, veer a little left.
Mhm.
You know, that really I started to look at things differently, and it started to help my recovery better, made my recovery better. It helped me understand that it was okay to go this way and okay to go that way. But we had a guest on that you brought on a couple of weeks ago, and I
Uh-huh.
forget his name.
I want to talk about that guest too.
Yeah, okay. We need to have him
So
back on. I really
yeah.
liked him.
So
Um,
actually, I think it's one step at a time, and that's what I
yeah.
do at when I went to the Vets on Tap. I go there to promote our podcast. I promote Veteran Trash Talk, and I promote Irreverent Warriors. And
Mhm.
so with Irreverent Warriors, we have a whole new hike schedule out for the entire calendar year. We just had the Puerto Rico hike. That was last week. This weekend's going to be Fort Lauderdale hike. And then my hike is going to be March 23rd. And then after that, Savannah, and then so on and so forth. There's something every month, at least once a month, somewhere in the country. And with Doug, he was our guest on the show. I met him through Irreverent Warriors.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to say that we selected him to become the new leadership for Tampa area. And
nice.
We didn't know if we were going to keep Tampa as a hike city, but now that he's taken over, we still have it on the books. So
that's awesome.
Mr. Doug, super happy for him about that. But like you said, getting out of that comfort zone, bringing people out, like even out of isolation. And that's one of the big deals is veterans like to isolate a lot, and they get in their heads. And so you don't know what you're missing until you actually go to one of these events, because you don't realize when you get out, you don't realize that, oh, I'm going to miss this camaraderie. I'm going to miss the kind of connections that we had with other fellow military members. Because there's a certain way that we talk to each other and interact with each other that if we did that in the civilian world, they would think that we're dead.
Oh, yeah.
Or like we're always angry. We're not.
Right.
Like the way that our humor is really dark and sarcastic. And that's what
And it's funny.
You know? Yeah, and it's funny, and that's what irreverent means. Is it's sarcasm, dark humor, and the things that we like. And to the normal person, I remember I made a comment earlier today, and somebody's like, "Well, you don't have to be so rude." And I was like, "I wasn't being rude. I was being sarcastic after the fact I gave good information." But people don't receive us as well as we receive each other, and you don't realize that you need that. Or you need that connection or those bonds. And so that's what we do on our hikes, is that we bring that out, and then we actively prevent veteran suicide.
Oh, yeah. I think just having that outlet and being, like you said, being with like-minded people, that's why Veterans Trash Talk, the Facebook page is so popular, and all the things that we do is we have that outlet. We have the ability to go out and say stupid things. We post silly, memes all the time, and sometimes you post emotional stuff, and if somebody's having issues or problems, they could throw it out there, and I guarantee you 100 different people are going to say something to you and ask you how you're doing and what's going on. Even sometimes with my mental health minutes that I post, people reach out to me, which I'm very appreciative.
Jeremy said, "Hold my beer" means something different. It means you're about to show off or do something really crazy.
As a warrant officer, something's about ready to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, is my microphone still working?
Yeah, your microphone went out just for a little bit, but it's back on.
It came back. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. Yep. Yeah, I just I bumped it, so I just need to quit messing with it. Just leave it alone. Quit fidgeting with it.
Yeah.
It's my ADHD kicked in. So I always, if you guys notice, I'm always messing around with stuff on my desk. So I'm always constantly moving stuff around. That's just how I am.
So I also wanted to, I don't think I formally announced it on the show, but Irreverent Warriors has officially merged with, this is the nonprofit side of this company now. It's like a whole different company.
Two different sides.
Everyone knows everybody knows what this company is, knows what it's called. And I've heard that parent company is not owned by veterans anymore, but the nonprofit side is all veterans. So we have merged with Grunt Style Foundation. So we are now one together. Nice. So
that's awesome. So what is that going to do for both of you guys when you guys merge?
So it's going to definitely help Irreverent Warriors, because at this point we were only our reach was only, I don't know, maybe 200,000 or something. Now we're millions. We're around the nation. And also it was up to the local leaders like me, because we're a nonprofit, to raise money and go out there and pretty much beg for money and sell our mission. And so now we're going to have a hold of these certain funds where we can use it to do community engagements, do our hikes. We don't have to rely so much on so many sponsorships. We're going to have that support with them. And then they're still trying to iron things out throughout the whole process. Right now, they're using our I-10, I think, of Irreverent Warriors. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be about 2 years for them to iron it out because it's been a few years in the making.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and now it's official, but they're still iron things out. But it's
Hmm.
exciting, and so we're gonna.
So are they going to change the name? Is it going to stay the same?
Um,
They
right
haven't
now
decided
it's
that
still
yet.
well with our if they're using our I-10, it's still Irreverent Warriors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so nonprofit still 501c. So
Okay. Nice. Well,
mhm.
that's great news. No, you didn't say that before. So, hey, thanks for sharing that. It's really good. There's so many great programs out there, and Veterans Trash Talk does a really good job on getting them on their Saturday show to highlight, veteran businesses and veterans, charity groups that do stuff like that. And it's pretty amazing because there's a lot of veterans out there hurting. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. We had the 5 Marines killed in a helicopter crash, and then of course we had the incident the other day in Jordan. And it's really it's been a hard month for the military. And my thoughts and prayers go out to all the family members. As a veteran, we all understand that, and thankful for their service and what they did. But yeah, it is tough, and to have a place where we can go and talk and laugh and really try to help each other is so important because nobody nowadays should suffer in silence. Before social media and before all that, you just didn't have a place to go unless you went to your local bar or you had a couple of buddies to hang out with to really talk about it. And that's one of the good things about social media, and it gets a bad rap sometimes, is you are able to reach out and talk to like-minded people and have conversation and join groups and subscribe and kind of do whatever you want, and that's really nice. But for some of the older generation who doesn't really do much online, they're kind of limited in that factor. But that's one good thing about Veterans Trash Talk being on Facebook, because even a lot of the older generation, they use Facebook. Hey, Linda, thanks for tuning in.
So there's 5 pillars within the foundation, and we fall under the mental health and wellness pillar.
Okay.
So they have the mental health and wellness pillar. There's a transition and sustainment, helping military transition to civilian life. Food insecurities for a lot of service members, the lower ranker service members or veterans who don't have access to food or anything like that. We have something called a food deployment, and I participated in that 2 years ago. And we literally gave families whole entire grocery, like their entire trunk of groceries
Wow.
and things like toilet paper, toiletries, women's, pads and things like that, and
Yeah.
baby supplies too, baby supplies, formulas, and diapers. And people were really so appreciative. They were literally crying, and it's a
Yeah.
really good thing what they're doing out there. So food insecurities, and then the last one, but not least, is veteran homelessness. So
Yeah.
combating veteran homelessness is a big.
It's a huge problem.
So yep.
And
So
it can happen to anybody at any time. There was a small time in my life when I was homeless, and was just floating between friends' house and stuff until I got my act together. And so it's hard when you're in that position, but when you get past that position, everybody always seems like they want to go back and help anybody who's in that position at this present time. But hey, it's really great. But circle back around to getting out of your comfort zone and dealing with good pain and bad pain is sometimes, I think, with veterans who are inside that loop and can't seem to break it. That's why one of the reasons that I do the Mental Health Warrior, Lynn, and you're here with me is we're really trying to help those know that it doesn't matter how bad things are now. It doesn't matter how bad things were in the past. You and I both know this, that things can get better in the future if you choose to move forward and choose to take that step. And there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days, but you can piece together a lot of good moments, and a lot of good moments can turn into a lot of good days. And it's okay if you go back a step and you go forward two and back one, or up one and back two. Just keep moving forward, because as a suicide survivor, I know what that's like. I know what it's the pain that causes, and all the other mental health issues. I mean, sometimes my anxiety will get out of whack for no reason, and I have to bring myself back to it. And one of the things I learned to do when I start having an anxiety attack is either make a video and post it, right? I had the ADHD thing yesterday, last week I talked about where I just, one thing led to another, led to another, led to another, led to another. And then 2 hours later, I still hadn't made it to the gym because I kept doing all these little things. And finally, I just had to stop it and leave the apartment. I just had to go because it was going to just keep going. But learning how to do that's very hard. And I think knowing it's okay, but also knowing that there's a lot of programs out there that will help you.
Yeah.
And especially with addictions and other things. Yeah, go ahead.
Linda, she just commented, "Hey guys, I'm on the Vegas hike team this year as far as fundraising and getting ready for December. So congrats for being part of the hike team, Linda. That's awesome."
Yay.
And I know she stepped out of her comfort zone doing that and going to the hike. So I'm glad to see that I've influenced more people to go to their first Irreverent Warriors hike and now part of the leadership team.
Oh, great. Yeah, I didn't know what that meant. Vegas hike team. I didn't know what that was. So that's part of Irreverent Warrior. So nice.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
Way to
part
go,
of the
Linda.
leadership.
All right. Way to step out of that comfort zone.
Yep.
And it's we laugh about it, but it's so important to do. And it doesn't mean that you have to do something big. It just be something small. Like for me, like when I go to Pilates class, most of the time I'm the only male there. In the class the other day, I was the only male there again. But normally after class was over, I would just grab my stuff and scurry out. But this time I just kind of hung out and I don't know, I guess I'm a stay-at-home mom now. And visit with the other moms and kind of talk to them. And a lot of them are just, like me, they're just new coming in and stuff like that. And you find out a lot about people. For me, I think it's just something that I need to start doing. When I was in Virginia, my life coach, she told me in yoga, visit a little bit with the people in the class and just don't run out afterwards. And I started doing that and made a lot of great friends. And so then I started looking forward to going and have that interaction. And it was just a little small change. It's not that I have 2-hour conversations with these people, but, a 5-minute conversation, putting your shoes on or something like that. Monday, I start my Italian language classes. So I'm excited about that.
Nice.
And yeah, so maybe I'll one more than ciao and, bonjour. And
Wait, is bonjour Italian?
Yeah, bonjour, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Buongiorno. Yeah,
Okay.
buongiorno, yeah. So, it's I say ciao to the workers or buongiorno or whatever, and I stumble along with it. But yeah, so I'm super excited to get into that. I met a restaurant that we go to. The waiter there, him and I have become fast friends. We're about the same age, and he tore his Achilles tendon, and so he spent the last 3 days in the hospital here in Italy getting that repaired. And I was texting him and stuff, and he's back home now. So maybe I'll cook him a good Greek dinner or take over to his house or something. But he's actually on the picture that I showed with the guy that looked like the actor the other day. He's the older guy standing behind me. Yeah, Pepe is his name. He's quite the character, quite funny. It would be funny to get him come on the podcast one night. I may have to try to see if I can't do that. But he lives about 30 kilometers away. So, but we'll see. Maybe I go pick him up and bring him over here and take him back. But it's a lot of fun. It's Super Bowl's coming up on Sunday, I guess. I won't watch it because I won't stay up that late to watch it. I'll just read the news about it the next day. But I'm just curious out there who's listening. Who do you think is going to win? Do you think it's going to be San Francisco or the Chiefs? I have to watch Friday night because they're going to do the predictions. I wonder what they're going to predict Nick is. But the Friday night show. I'm just going to
have to go with the Chiefs because they've just been killing it. They've been doing a great job. So.
Yeah, I think San Francisco, because they lost that one, 2020, they lost to the Chiefs, I think, if I remember right. So it'll probably be a good game. So we'll see. So if you're listening right now, throw out there who you think is going to win so we can go back and see. But being from Kansas City and growing up in Missouri, I'll have to go with the Chiefs. And so I'll pick the Chiefs, and I think it'll be a close one. I think they'll win by 7. I'm not going to say exactly how many points, but I think they'll win by 7. Oh, somebody said Taylor Swift will win.
Let's see. Also, Mardi Gras is coming up too. I think it's right after Super Bowl. It's literally on this next Tuesday.
Oh, that's right. Fat Tuesday. That's right.
So everybody's celebrating in Louisiana and Mississippi, the Gulf Coast, Houston. Have a great time. Be safe out there. Don't don't run in front of the floats.
That's right.
Because it happens. But yeah, Fat
You
Tuesday,
know,
and then also President's Day, and wait, no,
yeah,
Easter is next month. So yeah, President's Day and March. So
yeah,
there's
President's
a
Day. Yeah,
lot of stuff going on this February.
yeah, I know. For President's Day, we're gonna go maybe skiing up north for the 4 days. So we're looking at doing that here in Italy. It's a place where locals go, and it's kind of funny because they say, when you go, the Italians here do everything late. They don't eat dinner till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and so they don't really rise up that early in the morning. And they say, well, when you go to the ski slopes that are the locals always go to, just go early because there's nobody there. Don't go later in the day because everybody's there. So
Yeah.
it's like, we're Americans, no problem. We can get up early and go there. Plus, we're military, so we always get up early anyway. So it'll be good. But hey, at the beginning of the show, I made a slight reference to it. I didn't go. I want to go back and talk about it, about the special guest we're having on February 14th on Valentine's Day. Has nothing to do with Valentine's Day. But a couple of years ago, I was honored to have the Able Channel film a documentary on me called Surviving Suicide. And it's a 6-part series. And they finally got it released, and they won a couple of awards there at the Emmys. And the CEO and the founder, Brian McCourt's going to come on the podcast. So we're going to have a special time. It's going to be noon Eastern Daylight Time next Wednesday. And he's going to be on our show, and I'm super excited about it. And I'll write all kinds of little advertisements and blips about it to remind everybody. But I'm truly honored and thankful that he would take time out of his schedule to come on this show. And that's why the show is going to be earlier on Wednesday, so we can accommodate his schedule, because obviously he's running a TV channel, and so he's very busy. But you can go out to the ablechannel.com. I think you can join for free. You just enter your I think email address or something, and then you can watch the series. They have 2 sets of series out right now, but Surviving Suicide is the one that I'm part of, and I'm episode 1, season 1. And I'll put that in the comments. But super excited about that, huh, Lynn?
Yeah, that's going to be great. Excited to have him next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a good show. I'm super excited. Hold on a second. I'm going to post this on this chat real quick.
It's okay. Yeah, so also on Wednesday next week is for all the Catholics who celebrate Lent and Mardi Gras, it's Ash Wednesday. So it's the very first day of Lent.
Yep. So it's going to be a very, very busy day. A lot of things going on.
A lot of fish specials everywhere, especially on Fridays. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. So of course, here in Europe, they've been having the farmer protest, right? And I'm sure you've seen that. All over the place. Germany. They're protesting the 2030 agenda, where they want to kill all the cows, make us all eat bugs, and live in 15-minute cities. And the farmers have been protesting it, and they've had massive protests in France. They've had it in Germany, some in Italy, but up around Milan, not really around where we live.
Protesting?
Oh, because they want to kill a bunch of cows because of CO2 emissions, and they've been raising the price of fertilizer and pretty much killing farming is what they want to do. And they're saying, no, we're not going to do it. And the farmers finally had enough and stood up in Ireland. Everywhere across Europe, they've all stood up against it. And the protests have been peaceful, and mostly. And so it's kind of curtailed some things around here. But we've had, not so much here, but in other places, they've had a lot of shortages of food and stuff. Because you know what? If the farmers don't grow it and don't deliver it, you're not going to eat.
True.
Unless you're a prepper. So it's been kind of interesting. So you guys haven't heard about the protest over there much in the States?
No, not at all. Well, you know what? I don't count because I don't watch the news. I don't do the media. I do social media. That's probably it. So I don't count.
I think there's been some stuff out on X about it, and I think some stuff on Instagram. I don't have TikTok, so I don't know if it's been out there, but it's really been interesting to see it being on this side of the pond as opposed to in the States, and seeing what's going on. And as growing up on a farm as I did, that's how you eat. That's how you get your food. And so it's very important that we have farmers around. That's my political statement for the day. But hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank Lynn. I'm so happy that you're able to get off work today and make it in. But I know sometimes work stands in the way. And that's always more important.
I was in the field last week. I had to actually go into some offices and do inspections and be a big dog. and they do like a dog
Oh.
and pony show for me. So
Oh, nice. They're like, oh no, Lynn's here. They get all nervous.
yeah.
Wait, I get my desk all straightened up.
So let me put on my, suit.
I gotta change my desktop picture and all that.
Yeah. I love my job instead of I hate my job.
Yeah, that's right. Screw Mondays now.
I know.
But hey, just remember that you can get a copy of the Mental Health Warrior. My book's still out there. It's still for sale. I did discount the $23.99 plus shipping and handling. So there are about 500 books available left. Once they're sold out, they're sold out. So please get your book ordered. Get it ordered now. Also, up there in the left-hand corner, you got Reads Across America for the wreaths that you can donate. And then, of course, you can watch my podcast on Fridays at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. on Reads Across America Radio. Like I said early on, it's super easy to find. Just download your favorite radio app, the iHeartRadio app, TuneIn app, or Odyssey app, and search for Reads Across America Radio, and you can find it. And before that, I just want to say one thing. I hope that anybody out there listening about pain and going things left or right. Lynn, I'm going to give you the last word too today.
Okay.
But I was texting with Big Earl about this, with Nick about this today. And he was talking about the demon of pain, right? Fighting the demon of pain. And so I want everybody out there listening, if pain and demon goes hand in hand, let's fight them this week. And don't let him take charge. With that, Lynn, I'll let you go ahead and close this out.
All right, I got 2 plugs. The first one is www.irreverentwarriors.com. We're located in 150 plus cities. Find one near you. It's super cheap to sign up, and you won't regret it. Another one is us, Veteran Trash Talk. Go on www.veterantrashtalk.com. Right on there, you can find all our merch, especially our good shirt. That's Don't Be a Triggered Pansy. Everyone loves that shirt.
Even in Italy, they love that shirt. Even in Italy, they love the shirt.
Yeah, we forget about the button. They have like 12 cool phrases or something like that. Yeah. And you can find all our merch on there and all our podcasts on there. So don't forget to check us out on there.
And hey, with that, everybody, you guys have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. And you guys have a great rest of the week. And I might do something funny and silly tomorrow for my Mental Health Minute. We'll wait and see. But take care, everybody.
Aloha.
2/3 of Americans are at risk to experience blackout. You could be one of them, sitting in the dark and cold for hours, for days, maybe even weeks. Are you ready to protect your family? You could be with Patriot Power Solar Generator 2000X. Folks say this new solar generator from 4 Patriots is worth its weight in gold. Why? Because this generator has double the capacity and is expandable so you can run the big appliances like your fridge even longer. Or other devices like an electric blanket, microwave, RV air conditioner, or even an electric wheelchair. You also get 12 outlets, including 4 AC outlets, so you can power more devices at once, and 2 USB-C outlets, which can charge your phone 20 times faster than a regular plug. Best of all, this new solar generator is fume-free, safe to use inside, and never needs gas, ever. Over 150,000 Americans trust Patriot Power generators. Go to 4patriots.com/VTTGW to get your solar generator now. You'll even get a solar panel